welcome back to another Platinum End review. My name is Weekly Xonin, and oh man, episode 20 is pretty wild. We've got a couple of reveals. First off, the Hoshi knowing Yoneda, which is pretty cool. Hoshi being shot with an arrow. You've got Susumu, of course, that was revealed last episode, him dying, but Yoneda taking the opportunity to take his arrows, because I don't think he's killed anyone yet, and killing him himself before he can actually bleed out. The revelation of Nase being special, which I guess isn't too much of a surprise, but just the way that it was kind of executed was kind of a surprise. Yeah, dude, there's a lot. And then the ending of the episode, we'll be going back to the stadium. This is pretty wild. I guess the intro did kind of spoil that, right? We have Hoshi and Yumiki now in the stadium in the opening. They will be in the stadium. They both will have angel wings because Hoshi's now been shot, and I'm assuming he's also going to be given wings now. So, oh, and what? Wait, hold on. How am I forgetting? So we have what's it called? The interaction between Susumu and Shuji. How could I forget that? So yeah, I always wanted there to be a Susumu and Shuji interaction, and the only thing that we got was with Susumu's dead body. So I guess it counts. It's not really the interaction that I would hope for, but hey, things are ramping up. We don't have time for every little thing for me to want to happen, so I'm okay. I like the way that things are kind of pacing out right now. It's kind of like do or die situation. The world's up in arms. You have protesters out now, even though the existence of God has both been revealed and devealed. Is that a word? It's like the world is reacting how it would probably react, of like, we don't care at this point. These guys have been running rampant for months now. We don't need no candidates. So that's pretty cool to see. I always like seeing how the crowd, or the people who are not the main characters, react to situations, because all we've really gotten was like some of these government officials, and it's like, who cares about them? They're being dickheads. They clearly just shot a kid for no reason. So, well, for a reason, but for no reason. So moving on, let's see. We got a couple of moments from Damari, which is okay. I don't like her. I'll be honest. The way that she just handles herself is just too annoying. Like, even as soon as we get back, her first thing is like, I have to maintain my likes on Instagram. Even though I'm this pretty woman who lives for the gram, I still need to shoot people with red arrows to make them like me. Don't like that at all. But hey, she has her priorities straight, so I gotta respect it at some point. I gotta respect the hustle. So she also goes to stand against Mirai at some point in the episode, where she's like, you're not going to convince this guy. He already thinks the way he thinks. That's how he is. Which is a cool little strong moment from her, to be like, I'm not going to follow, just because I'm agreeing with you right now, and we have this deal between her and Kakehashi that you're going to let me keep my red arrow when you become God. It doesn't mean I'm just going to blindly follow you. So that I kind of fuck with, but still don't fuck with her. Ogaro and Yoneda have a nice little conversation at the end of the episode. Oh man, I'm so glad that this happened too, because the way that scene starts out, I thought it was going to be traditional villain monologuing, not necessarily anything useful for the audience, but just makes sense for him to retell these stories to Shuji, and it's not how it turned out. It seems like he was just using Shuji as a bargaining chip to get more out of Ogaro, which is great. A1 plays. I think Yoneda's kind of carrying the series right now, because he's the only one who's giving us new information, right? We want new info. We want to see good characters succeed, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, we need to figure out this lore, man. We need to know what's going on with these angels up in heaven. So, and he's very interested in that. It seems like a lot of his drive comes from just wanting to know what happens after death. And we do finally get to see how his angel approached him, which is cool. I like the way that Mooney kind kind of interacts with him here. She's like tempting him, you know. It's like she doesn't feel like an angel who's providing him salvation. She feels like an angel who's just like more like a demon. Of like, I could help you. I could show you what you want to see, and you know, makes sense. Mooney's already creepy as it is, so I mess with it. We do get this really ugly shot of Yoneda at his worst. I feel bad for him, but hey, he came out of it. He's doing pretty well now. Did like seeing Yumiki take control of the situation, right? We got a little mid-card saying that, hey, what you can make people do with red arrows is kind of limited to what they are willing to do. And on top of that, in this episode, we have Saki calling Yumiki and being like, yo, we're trying to figure out where these snipers came from. And Sumiki just takes the initiative to go and shoot this guy with a red arrow. I mean, whatever. I'm with it. As long as characters are moving on their own and it doesn't feel like it's contrived for the sake of plot, I'm all for it. Whether or not I like them. I do still like Yohoshi and Yumiki, and I'm glad that they're going to be where they're at in the opening. You know, they're going to be in the stadium. Everything is leading back to the stadium for one final confrontation. I guess to do it right this time. Instead of making it just pure bloodshed, we're going to talk it out. Obviously, that's not how it's going to go down. We have the whole government or police, whatever the heck this force is that's been trying to snipe these people. That's going to obviously be there. It's going to disrupt the situation, make the stakes a little bit higher. Ooh, that was a good whistle. You know, Yoneda showing a bit of a smirk here. He's showing a little tendency to be evil, even though he did approach the gang as a neutral force or potentially willing to help. I do feel for Shuji here. Forgetting his name everywhere now. I do feel for him. He meets his hero, and he's just like, we think the same. Immediately gets shot, but also he's just like, we're also, you know, we think the same, but you're obviously levels ahead of me. So kind of a mentor apprentice thing going on here, aside from the whole being shot with the red arrow. But hey, I like the interactions this episode. I think the only boring person this episode has been probably Mirai. Like, he's still same old Mirai. But now I'm just gonna have to go back and rewatch all of Nase's movements, because man, the way that she interacts, we got the reveal. She can touch people. That's not a thing that angels are allowed to do or angels can do at all. But yeah, she's the one who saved Mirai, which is a great little plot twist, right? Because what we realized when getting that reveal is, oh yeah, she is the only one who's touched a human being. Every other angel has just approached them and been like, you probably shouldn't kill yourself. Let me tell you why. And we do have 2 people now who tried killing themselves with pills. I wonder if that's supposed to mean anything. I think the poetic justice there of, you know, Susumu being saved by an angel while trying to OD, also being killed or put to rest because he was dead anyway, but being, you know, having the final blow by another person, the only other person we know of who tried to commit suicide with pills. So pretty cool little tidbits of information that we're getting in this episode. I really do hope that we get some more lore dump from Ogaro next episode, because man, they've got, is Ogaro a woman or man? I don't really know, but Ogaro's got some shit to say. I don't know what else there is to say other than this whole like secrets of heaven thing, but man, I'm gonna have to go back and like rewatch all of Nase's interactions, because what is also confirmed in this conversation is that Nase doesn't really know, and Nase could understand her power, but you know, at the end of the day, she could also be really unaware. But to make sure of this, I would like to go back and just see, you know, how she interacts with Mirai to see if there's actually a plan there. But I would assume, off the top of my head, being the angel of purity, she's just working off like kind of like Balta in a sense, like off instinct. She's just nope. She doesn't care. She doesn't have no ulterior motives. She's pure-hearted. She's kind. She's just working to help whoever the hell it is. And it would just fit her character a little bit better. I mean, would the plot twist make her red eyes seem a little more cool? Yeah, you know? if she's got some secret motive, then the whole idea of her having a red halo, red eyes while being an angel is like, I could see it working. I could totally see it working. But yeah, I think there's not really much more to go over, man. The implications of this episode are not too much to speculate on. You know, we obviously, there's some more secret stuff. that is going on that we need to have revealed to us, but I don't really think there's much to speculate, right? We got maybe Hoshi can speak to Yoneda and have a breakthrough. I don't think that'll happen. I think there will be a moment there. There will be like something for Yoneda to be like more humanized there. But I mean, with his backstory, with the high school backstory and his flashback to when Mooney approached him, we've got enough human out of him. Even though he refers to himself as, you know, other, like he kind of like speaks as like I've been chosen as a human. I was born a human, unfortunately, so I have to play like a human. So even though he speaks that way, he's like very humanized this episode. So I don't think there's anything that we can get out of that interaction with him and Hoshi, other than like maybe convincing him. Maybe Hoshi knows something else about Yoneda that, or knows some context as to Yoneda in terms of Yoneda suffering that we can have revealed next episode. But I don't really see it, man. I really don't. I think at the end of the day, it'll just be a failure. Yoneda's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. Just like Tamari says, you're not gonna break through to a guy like that. He's already decided what he's gonna do. And I don't know, maybe I'm going back on my word, because no, I wouldn't actually. I was gonna say that, you know, Mooney did change his mind once. He was gonna kill himself, and Mooney decided to approach him, and he decided not to do that. So he can have his mind changed, but that was a supernatural force also answering the questions, promising to answer the questions that he had about death, not some dude who's like, hey, what you're doing is wrong, we should probably stop this. So we'll have to see what's gonna go on. And God is disappearing. I forgot all about that. The king of games over here, Yugimoto, he I forget his name. But he pops up with Susumu's corpse, Susumu's soul, into heaven, and the rest of the angels are there and they're mourning because God is disappearing, which I think goes hand in hand with the protest that we saw, right? You know, if the whole plan here was to make people believe in the existence of God so that God can continue to exist, it kind of backfired, as we're seeing. And I guess opposed to the prediction that I made, or the speculation that I had last episode, which is like, well, even if they disagree with his existence or whatever, they know that he exists, so he would become stronger and this would be all pointless. But no, it seems like he's disappearing. This could all still be a ploy, right? He could also just be manipulating these angels into, you know, having any angel who comes up. But it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for him to confuse every angel who comes up, because I don't know, unless there's like a secret power there with like maybe the energy behind the belief in God and the energy behind the belief in not needing God balance out. And so maybe he's like having this 3D chess play where he's like, oh, so the fact that you guys think you can live without me now is now my source of power. Far-fetched this out. I doubt that'll happen, but I just like how the reveal of there is no God, like next to the protests that are going on, and then this episode with more protest, and oh my God, he's actually disappearing, because people have not taken this information in very well. Like, they haven't taken this news very well. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what's going on. I need these characters to be up in this heaven realm at the end of the day. We need to get up there. We need to have a face-to-face with him, see what's going on. Because again, this is like the first time I've seen Christianity's type of God in any anime. Like, it's been referenced. Some of the Bible stories have been referenced, but like, we've never actually seen God himself in an anime. So yeah, I mean, it's the first anime I've seen this happening, and I'm gonna have to see an actual conversation with it, because dude, you have these pure characters. You have the pure of heart angel, and you have the pure of heart boy, who are the main characters here. Why wouldn't you want to have them interact with this being who obviously made this whole game here for his own benefit? So we're gonna have to see. Oh, also, I forgot, Tamari has a moment that I was gonna say she balances out, right? That's what I was kind of implying earlier. She kind of balances out with, you know, good and bad moments this episode. The worst moment of this episode, I think, that makes her irredeemable at this point, is her questioning Saki and Mirai's love, which was fucked up to do. I think big no-no. How dare you? and be like, yo, you sure you want to become God? Because then what's going to happen to her? And Nase providing the easy answer, like, they can just become one being, which is pretty cool. Also, you had, I forgot his name. Not Barrett. Revel, sorry. Revel here asks a very important question about the angels. And I think Yoneda asks Orgoro about it as well later on. Which is, well, what happens to us? And that might be the reason why the angels up in heaven right now are like mourning, because they're like, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna disappear when God disappears. But I don't know, we're gonna have to see. Maybe the end result here is no God is needed for this world, but the angels are needed, right? Like, they don't need no big overseer, but they need someone to help from time to time, and then angels will just continue to exist. Because it seems like if you're asking that question twice an episode, it's gonna have to be answered, right? So we'll have to see. Although it's just kind of weird, man. Now that I'm looking at this picture of Nase and Revel, you got the angel of purity next to the angel of knowledge. The angel who doesn't need any information to move, and the angel who needs all the information in the world working side by side. Part of me wonders if this is an intentional thing, but questions for later. My name is Weekly Shonen. This has been a Platinum Men review again. I don't know. I'll see you next week, or Sunday, because we have another Big 3 review coming out. So be safe, enjoy your weekend, and yeah.